What is up? This is JT, and I'm going to discuss something real quick on these tools. Your front ones here are your RIDGID Octane series. Now, they're doing away with the Octane series, so if you can get your hands on these, it may be worth your time. And depending on the price, it may be worth your money. Because this drill right here, I know it's a behemoth monster. It's a huge tool. You can see right next to it is a Makita, I have to look. It is an XPH14. Now this is not their newest offering, probably not their best offering, but it is one that I picked up for a decent price, and it came with a free battery. It came with one of these little 2 amp hour batteries, and so did this tool. So I got this one at a good price, and I got this one at a good price. When I added it up together, the math didn't make sense. So the total before tax on both of these tools was $255 with 2 batteries, no charger, no bag. This set of Octane with the 3 amp hour high output batteries, which don't last worth a crap, but may last longer than the 2 amp hours that came with these tools, I paid $235. Now, I don't know if you can still find this kit for that price, or even this kit period, so you might have to search other places, eBay, Amazon, stuff like that, to find these tools, and you're not going to be able to register lifetime. These are lifetime. I already have lifetime on the batteries, and I have I believe six altogether 3 amp hour batteries, and they're all lifetime, so if anything goes wrong with them, they're good. And these seem to be somewhat fully charged. I'm sure they're not fully charged. And you can see the size difference on these different sets of tools. If I set it back to back on the bottom, you could see that the RIDGID sets forward about a 1/4 inch. And no, I'm not going to measure it because I don't care that much. And you can see how much bigger it is long ways. The reason why I got these extra tools, and a way to justify the purchase, is whenever I go to use this tool for anything small, I tend to have a big problem inside cabinets, even working on cars and stuff like that. The space in between the front and the back will sometimes bind me. So when I'm removing a bolt, even that I can get on, and it's too tight, when it backs it out, it squishes the back up against whatever, shock tower, anything inside a cabinet. It'll back it up against the face frames. And so I got this one because it's about an inch shorter, maybe an inch and a quarter. I don't have my dial calipers, don't know where they are, so I'm not going to measure it, but it is way shorter and way smaller. And I measured at the store the subcompact RIDGID kit, which I had before, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. The size, the feel, just the motors themselves inside sounded like a high-end brushless RC car. They sounded flawless. The impact was excellent. It was actually more powerful in removing than this one. Hard to believe. It was about this big, or maybe even smaller. It was about this big. You can go to one of the other videos, you can look at the comparisons. I don't know if I had this tool at the same time, but I had the Gen 5X for sure, and it's almost the exact same size. So comparison still stands. I did not have this, I don't think, because I think I got this kit later on to replace the subcompact kit that broke on me, because they didn't have any of the kit that I got offline, and they didn't have one to replace it. So I got the Octane one instead for not much more money, literally like $35 more. But then I lost the little 3/8 impact wrench, which was pretty cool. So now we're looking at the hammer drills. The subcompact rigid is right around here in size, I think, right about there to the tip. It's like right around here. So it's quite a bit smaller, and this direction, way smaller. And weight, you can't even touch it. It's probably the lightest, most powerful compact drill on the market. I think it even beats the Makita subcompact. So the rigid subcompact I would have gone with, but with that fear lingering that there was something wrong in the gearbox, I can't justify it. Even though the drill, see, I would keep this one because the Makita has controls on it, and it has a way better light, and it has the speed selector, which the rigid subcompact does not. It is just trigger only, and it is not the greatest control, but it's a lot better than these. But the Makita, look how slow you can spin this. And when you keep that on low, you have ultimate control, because that's full bore and low with a really, I mean, just super controllable trigger. Now on your rigid tools, they have a good trigger as well. But you can see that how quickly it jumps from super slow, which isn't even that slow, that's as slow as it goes. It does these like steps. It's kind of like a step trigger. And then the Makita ones are almost infinitely variable. Much like a throttle on a car. So that's why they call these the Ferrari of tools. I don't understand the comparison, but I understand the trigger comparison. Because this tool got beat by this tool. And supposedly these are really, really underrated. And this one's rated at 1550. This one's rated at like 2200. And it beats it. And the subcompact rigid beat this one. So yeah, I don't know. But when it comes to putting in, tightening down bolts, lags, screws, deck screws, 3.5s, 4-inch. This one definitely beat the rigid subcompact. So we're gonna have to put these two up against each other when it comes to screws and ledger locks and different things like that. Whatever I have laying around, I'm not gonna go buy anything for it. But when it came to lug nuts, this one demolished this one. And I figured it was going to be the other way, so I slapped a 5 amp hour, no difference. Ran it with the 2, the 4, the 5, I did everything. It couldn't beat it. And all I did was leave the 3 amp hour. It's a high output, yes, it's a high output. But I guarantee you, if I would have put a non-high output, which I don't have anymore, so I can't do that test, that it would still beat it. And removing lug nuts. And that's not even a relative test to these tools, because that's not what they're for. But I do use these tools a lot taking apart cars because of their size. That's where the 3/8 would come in, but the 3/8 impact wrench actually burned up on me. It smoked itself somehow. And so that's why I ended up taking the entire kit back. But like I said, they didn't have one to replace it. So here we are. Now we have Makita. The one thing that Makita has over every other brand is their batteries. Their batteries work amazing. They last longer than, say, if you had a 4 amp hour rated in one and a 4 amp rated in Makita. It seems like the Makita just outlasts it. I don't know why. But that's not even the best part. The best part is when you slap these on a rapid charger that has an internal cooling fan and also a nice little ditty. It plays like a little ditty when it's done. These charge up. If they're not completely fully dead, they charge up in like 10-20 minutes. I had 1 bar on here. 1 bar on the 4 amp hour. I stuck it on the charger. It was done in 15 to 20 minutes. That's crazy. It takes these on the rapid charger, and I say that loosely because I don't think it's a rapid charger, but they kind of say it's a rapid charger. They still take close to an hour. If they're fully depleted, they take an hour. But if they're close to 1 bar, it takes close to an hour, or maybe a little bit less. I did a test on that exact thing, so you can go to that video and check that out. But I think it's a little bit less than an hour, but not anywhere near as fast as these charge. So that's another thing that Makita has. So the trigger is much better. The size, I know this is going to demolish it in power. So doesn't have that, and I know that this ain't going to demolish this in power. Maybe. I'm hoping. But like I said, these are going to be for fine work. And this drill, I don't know if this is going to really fit into my tool system, because what I needed is a lightweight, small drill for drilling out pocket holes and things of that nature, where this is just, no, it's just not going to work. But luckily my pocket hole kit has this, it has a hex collet on the actual drill bit as well as the T20 bits. So I don't have to worry about that. I can use this for both. It's just a matter of changing out the bits, which really takes time, but it's not that bad. You don't need 2 separate tools for that. So I don't know if this one's gonna fit my repertoire of tools. I don't even know what that word means. But it seems like a good tool. It came with a really nice handle. It only can go left or right, can't go up and down. This one, it can go up, it can go left, right, so it can go anyway on the handle itself. And I don't have the handles, and I'm not going to make a bunch of noise because my son and my girl are sleeping right now, so I'm not going to go get it. I'm not going to make too much noise. That's why I'm filming outside, sitting on the ground in the rain. But yeah, so another thing that I really don't like about Makita is, you see on this RIDGID, it comes with 1 bit holder on each tool. You know, most people, that's enough. For me, on my impacts, I have to have 3 bits. I have a Torx T25, I have a T40, and a Phillips. And those are, for the most part, those are the ones that I go to the most. Every once in a while I'll have to bust out on this old house. I'll have to find me a straight screwdriver bit or a straight bit, and then I'll use a holder because I don't have any of the impact ones. If I do, I've lost them, misplaced them, whatever. But Makita disappointed me because they have a spot right here for a bit holder. Or, I guess if you're weird, you could put 2 belt loops on here. I don't know why you'd do that, unless you were, I guess these were your tools for your job site, like subcontractor workers, and they were left and right-handed and they needed a switch. That's the only thing I could think of why that would make sense. But they have a spot for a bit holder. They do not provide the bit holder. Now, what do? You look it up, and they're $8.99 a piece. $8.99 a piece for those. Well, I just put a little bit of a RIDGID accessory on here. So, boom, 1, 2, 3. 3 bits all at one time. And if I ever have to use these, which I rarely use because I hate them, because these bits, they just fall out all the time, and the brand on this one is DeWalt, even though you can't see it because it's worn. I've used it for many years. But the bits fall out and they get stuck in your screw, and then you go to put the next screw in, especially when you're working on a deck. they just fall out, and then you lose your bit. It's stuck in one of the screws. It's such a pain. That's why I don't use them. They are handy for in those hard spots where you need to actually chase the screw, or whatever they call it. And you need it to go at a certain angle, and that's the only reason I use these. But I just have it in there because I don't know if I have another Phillips, just normal bit like this, 2-inch bit. But that's just my main complaint is, look, there's no bit holders. So literally, you just get one technical bit holder, and that's the chuck itself, or the collet. That's my main complaint on Makita right now, so far. Another complaint is I don't know if their impacting stuff is very good, because I used it, like I said, I did a lug nut test on this car right here, on this front wheel, and I filmed it on a different camera, so it's going to be hard to upload, but it got hot, and I mean hot. This part right here, all up here, super hot. The impact part was super hot. The handle got hot. Everything got hot. And I did pretty much the same amount of work, except for this one did it way easier, so it didn't technically do as much work. It wasn't even warm. Not at all. Handle never gets hot. This part was not even barely warm at all. Like maybe a little bit warmer than it is just sitting cold, but nothing. It's hardly registerable. So that worries me about this tool. When you start putting on these bigger, taller Makita batteries, you literally lose like the size battle, because I don't know if you could tell, but it's taller than this one. And I'm getting, this is rated for, I believe, 1,300 inch-pounds. This one's rated at 1,250. And in my next video, we're gonna find out if that's a lie. Who's telling the truth? But this is very well built, except for it's got a plastic part right here. It just throws the whole thing off. This switch mechanism for the hammer drill, and then going to the screw mode and the just regular drill mode, it's just a plastic ring. Like, and it doesn't even feel like it's good quality. It doesn't feel positive. It doesn't feel like it goes into the right gear very well, and then it doesn't really line up the arrow super perfect. Oh, fit and finish, man. This is a premium tool, you know, premium price. Back in the day when this came out, this was premium stuff. So maybe they just cheaped out and started throwing cheap parts on it, because I got it years down the road after it first came out. It's probably been out for 4 or 5 years or more, maybe 6 years, I don't know. But just the small things bother me, like the bit holder. That's just ridiculous. I don't even use bits on a drill. I use it for drilling. You know, that's what it's for. This is a drill driver and a hammer drill. Most people don't know that the bit itself is the drill. This is the driver. Nobody knows that. They don't understand that. It's all lost. That knowledge is getting lost in the system. So this is a drill driver. This is a drill driver. These are technically still drill drivers, but they call them impact drivers because they have an impacting mechanism. But it's the same idea. These actually are probably gear reduction down 6-to-1, maybe 10. I don't know. But other than that, they're direct drive. These are direct drive, but they are geared way down. So these don't spin as fast. This one spins 2,000. This one spins 2,100. This one spins 3,600. And this one spins, I believe, 29. Yes, it spins 29. No, you can't see that because this won't focus. No, it's 3,000. My bad. 3,000 on the Octane. 3,000 RPMs on the Octane, 36. This one is 3,800 impacts per minute, blows per minute, whatever you want to call it. and this one's 39. So 3,000 and 3,900, and 3,600 and 3,800. Weird. These go on the hammer mode. This one has a super high number, like 31,000. And then this one is also 31,000. What did I say on this one? It's 31,500. I think I said 35,000. It's 31 versus 31,500. So we're gonna test and see which one of those is better. Because if I can't justify keeping this tool, then I'm gonna go get the RIDGID subcompact and just hope and pray that it doesn't do what the last one did, which was the gearbox failed, and something was grinding up in the gearbox. But it sounded like an RC car, so it had a good brushless motor in it. I can guarantee you that. And as far as this goes, as hot as it got, and the smells that were coming out of it from using it for literally 30 seconds to maybe a minute total, wow. I don't know about that. So I wouldn't use this tool for heavy duty work. Like if you're building a deck and you're constantly banging in screws left and right, go with something like this. If you're doing fit and finish work, cabinets, hinges, stuff like that, definitely go with Makita. As far as the drills go, I don't know yet, 'cause I haven't used this drill yet. I just picked it up just now, and so I don't really have an opinion on the actual using of the drill. But I'm gonna have some drywall work and some different things that I need to do in a kitchen. So I don't even know if I'm gonna end up using a drill, period. I usually, these are my go-to right here, impacts. I don't use drills that much. But I did have to use a drill yesterday to fix my dad's lawnmower, and he didn't have an impact and he didn't have a decent drill. So I literally just sold him my old RIDGID drills, and if he's not happy with them in the future, well then I'll just end up buying them back, because they've always been reliable for me. And hell, I mean, I love those drills. And the old one it was a Gen 5X brushless, and I've had it on many of my videos. It had the switch up here instead of this push button. These do fail. They do fail. I had a Craftsman one that was still under warranty a long time ago, like 8 years ago or 10 years ago, and the button actually stopped working. These little, what they call membrane buttons, really it's just a sticker, and then underneath it's a click switch on the circuit board, and the click switch actually failed. And what happens is somehow dirt gets underneath the contact of the switch, and it forces it, or I mean it makes it to where it cannot contact it can't bridge the connection on the electrical panel. So what it does is just not function, and it stayed stuck in second gear, and I couldn't move it. So it was basically useless for anything that was heavy duty. So that's why in a lot of cases they're going to these electric buttons and circuitry. This may not be good. This may not be good at all. Just keep that in mind. But as far as this goes, like these drills and impacts, like that's the slowest it goes in second speed, and that's in second speed. Watch how slow it goes at first. That is the absolute slowest you can go. But look how slow that is. I can't do that on RIDGID. The triggers aren't that precise. So even in speed 1, that's as slow as it goes. And the same on the impact. So that's why I say these are more aimed at precision Look how slow that goes. Now if you're starting to screw in like a blind hole where you can't see what you're doing and you don't want to cross thread it, I wouldn't suggest using one of these, but if you have to, go with this. For this is as slow as it goes. No matter what, that's as slow as it'll go. Which isn't bad. I mean, I don't have any issues with it, but I haven't gotten to building my cabinets yet. Doing vanities and cabinets and cabinet doors and all that. Gonna be nailing, gluing, stuff like that, but if I'm doing pocket holes and whatnot, you know, I'm going for that. If it doesn't burn up. The newer model of this has the lights up here. And honestly, I don't think they're any better. I think these are actually better, which is very strange because I'm used to the old Ryobi Craftsman started these triple lights, Ryobi and Craftsman, because apparently they were made by the same company at the time. And ever since I had those tri-lights, I never went back until now. And now this, in certain cases, is better because it's more focused. It's brighter. Just they got 2 LED bulbs right up here, and they're brighter because they use a brighter LED. See? Not quite as bright. You put this one on it, seems a little brighter. It's really not as easy to notice unless you're in the dark. And by the way, the dedicated light switch, RIDGID, you scored with that. Don't get rid of it, even though I think they did. But then here we go on this. It's hard to tell in the daytime. Give it a second. See those tri-beams? I don't know. I like the tri-beams. Now they also did this on the drill. So this is good if you're using small bits. This is perfect. It's excellent. And you got to keep that clean, which is kind of a pain, but not that big of a deal. So you got to keep it clean. And it has a dedicated button, so you don't even have to pull the trigger. Where this isn't good is if you have a super long bit, the light is not as bright because it's actually fiber optic. The light is behind the chuck, and this is all fiber optics in here, so the light's not as bright as if it was just the light. So the light, you can see it behind there. See it behind here in this little part right here. That's where the light is. These are fiber optics. And so that's perfect for when you're using short bits, like twist bits, you know, driving bits, whatever. I don't know why you would drive unless you were using your clutch settings and stuff like that. I don't do that. I just use the impact with triggers and stuff. But that's just my thing. But you can. See, I got a bit on there. It hardly ever gets used. But it's perfect for that. So when you're going down on your project like this, can't even see the lights. They're not bright enough. So you're using, yeah, can't even see them. You can't even tell they're on right now. That's crazy. Oh, there we go. So they're right on your work. I mean, right on it. It's just the further back you are, they spread out, and that's when it becomes a problem. So if you have a long bit on there, like you're drilling an 8-inch bit, 12-inch bit, something like that, these lights are no good. And then these are, see, quite a bit brighter. And I'm way far back. Oh, sorry, I was holding you sideways. I'm way far back, and the light is still working. So in that instance, like I said, they have them here, and on the newer drills, I think they're on the side here, and a little bit over here somewhere. Like on this section here, it's a little bit wider. But that system works pretty well. Milwaukee's is, it's in the same split like the placement is the same, but it's not as bright, it's not as good. So yeah, I doubt anybody's even gonna make it this far into this video, but if you do, thank you for watching. And overall, when it comes to just banging stuff together and getting it done, you cannot go wrong with most RIDGID tools. Their vacuums are like top notch. Some of their nail guns, top notch. Just wonderful guns. And every once in a while you'll run into a tool like this. Well, it's a big tool, but it's powerful. I mean, there's not a lot you can't do in second speed. Maybe like giant bore bits or those 2 to 3 inch, I forget what they're called. I don't own any, so obviously I don't know what they are. It's kind of like a Faulkner bit, but different. And that's pretty much the only thing that's going to hold this up. I think even a hole saw wouldn't hold this up in the second speed, because a 2-inch hole saw for a doorknob wouldn't hold up my Gen 5X, and this one's twice as powerful, almost. I think it was like 700 inch-pounds. This one's supposed to be 13. So yeah, so it wouldn't even hold it. No, it wouldn't hold it up at all. I wish I had some doors to drill holes in, I'd show you. So we're gonna put these two to the test, and then we're gonna put these two to the test against each other, because these are what I own right now when it comes to drills and impacts. And yeah, we're gonna really drive it home. So stay tuned for that. And if you made it this far to the video, which, wow, you deserve a congratulations and a medal, because your attention span is greater than most people. Congratulations. High five, whatever, fist bump, whatever you like to do. That's crazy. But yeah, stay tuned for these videos. This one versus this one, this one versus this one, and then I'm gonna throw you a curveball. These versus these. And you're gonna be quite surprised who wins.